So if I had to sum up Junji Ito's works in one sentence, it would be this. Junji Ito takes the ordinary, all around us, beauty, patterns, family, and twists them into unforgettable nightmares, stories that keep you up at night. And that's what makes him a legend. You're walking through a bookstore, not quite sure what to pick up. The air smells like old pages and new stories waiting to be discovered, maybe even written, yours included. Titles call up from every shelf. There's so much to choose from, it's almost overwhelming. You stop at a small desk. Behind it sits a woman. She smiles and says, "How can I help you?" You glance down at her nameplate. Her name is Ophelia. Her title? Resident Bookworm. Hi, I'm Ophelia, and welcome to Control Alt Read, a podcast about the books we read, the stories they tell, and what they really mean. Let's talk about Junji Ito. If you're into horror that's creepy, weird, and just downright surreal, Junji Ito's work is a must. He doesn't just scare you. No, Junji Ito's stories will get under your skin in the best ways. Today, I'm covering Tomie, Uzumaki, and Junji Ito's Tale of Horrors anthology. So, buckle up, because this is not your typical ghost story fare. Let's start off with Tomie. This is the one that messed with my head, in the best way. Tomie is about a mysterious girl who brings madness, obsession, and death wherever she goes. The story kicks off with an innocent enough high school trip. While on this trip, it's revealed that one of the high schoolers, Tomie, has had a love affair with her teacher. A brawl ensues, and then Tomie is killed in the process. Instead of calling the police, Tomie's classmates and her teacher choose to cut up her bodies into pieces and take her with them. Grotesque, I know, but this is exactly the type of storyline that Junji Ito has. Something that is very surreal, very graphic, very disturbing. So here's the catch though, and Junji Ito's stories always come with that. Tomie doesn't stay dead. No, she regenerates over and over again. And that is what kicks off the madness. Well, the whole series will center around the questions of who is Tomie? No, what is Tomie? Is she a human, a monster, a metaphor? Because everyone who meets her and is attracted to women, especially men, goes totally psychotic. Tomie becomes a symbol of obsession. In my view, she represents beauty that drives people mad. Beauty that is grotesque and strangely hypnotic. To me, Tomie is all about the irrational actions that we take when we feel attraction, love, or lust. It's about how feelings of attraction and intensity affect us as humans and make us do rather irrational things. Throughout the story, we can see that whoever comes across Tomie's path and becomes attracted to her becomes more and more obsessed. Well, obsessed with her, but also with murdering her. The idea of someone who never goes away as well, who always returns with sinister intent, that also haunts me more than any gore. Because Tomie isn't just scary, she's eternal. So, that's why Tomie is my personal favorite. Weird, layered, and unforgettable. Uzumaki is a classic and arguably one of the most popular, if not the most popular, of Junji Ito's works. Uzumaki literally means spiral, and yes, that's what this book is all about. Spirals. Right, at first it sounds harmless, right? Because spirals are everywhere. I mean, look at your fingertips. They're on your fingers, in your ears, they're in your ramen, in snail shells, all over the world. But in this story, spirals become a curse. We start with a peaceful town, a town that eventually becomes infected by spiral-shaped madness. People's minds, bodies, even the air around them begins to twist, literally. It's terrifying, and it builds so slowly and relentlessly that it all feels cosmic. If I could describe Uzumaki, I would say that it's very much cosmic Lovecraftian horror. Because the fear isn't just the spirals. The fear is also that we're staring into an abyss, Something that we don't truly understand what is happening. No one knows why it's happening, why these spirals are taking over. There is no known origin for them and no real way to fight it. It's just chaos swallowing everything up. And that's what scares me the most. The idea of being trapped in a world that's unexplainable, where horror is both inevitable and alien. If I were in any of Junji Ito's universes, the one that I'd be most terrified of being in would be Uzumaki, just because of this. The main characters' reactions felt real as well. They're just trying to survive, trying to save their families, while everyone around them loses their minds. If you're new to Junji Ito, I would recommend Uzumaki as the best place to start. It's iconic for a reason. Uzumaki is also the reason why I got into Junji Ito, so that's also why I recommend it and think that it's a good starter book. And finally, Tales of Horror. Tales of Horror by Junji Ito is a collection of short stories, and each one is more disturbing than the last. A boy has recently moved into a home with his family, and all seems well until he's at bed one night. And then, tap, 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 he hears it. "Little boy," a voice calls out from the house next door. A very creepy voice. He looks up. There's a woman with warts all over her face, a very grotesque woman, and she keeps calling out to him, wanting him to come closer. "Little boy." She wants a piece of him. So this book, this Tales of Horror, is filled with little things like that, little creepy stories. So what makes Junji Ito stand out isn't just the stories as well, it's also his art. Graphic, grotesque, disturbing, and totally unflinching. For example, if you have trypophobia, which is a fear of holes, then you have been warned. This might not be the book for you. But Junji Ito's books are not just about shock value. I think that his drawings also create the psychological unease that sticks with you just a little bit after you've closed the book. There are also live action movies. Tomie has multiple films. Uzumaki also has at least one. If you're more of a watcher than a reader, these might be worth checking out, but having seen Uzumaki, I don't think they fully capture the nightmare of his illustrations. What do I take away from all this? Junji Ito's horror isn't just about monsters. I think that it's an interesting depiction of us as a society. I don't know much about Japanese culture, but I do know something about human nature just in general. And I think that a lot of Junji Ito stories sum up human nature and depict the ugliness of human nature and maybe sometimes even the beauty of it in disturbing, surreal ways through his stories. Morals of the story aside, his stories also are just fun as heck to read. They're just so engaging and so creepy. So if you're the type of person who loves to be creeped out by books, I truly recommend his books and his works to you. This book is about us. It's about our obsessions, our fears of losing control, our fragile grip on sanity. Whether it's Tomie's never-ending seduction or Spiral's warping reality, these stories dig deep into what scares us as humans existentially. Hey, thanks for joining me here on Control-Alt-Read. I hope this book resonated well with you, sparked a thought, or brought you closer to your own story. If you enjoyed today's episode, please follow the podcast for more reflections, reviews, and reads worth sharing. Until next time, take care and happy reading.